When you manage an Access database, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. Occasionally, you'll find that a table feeding values to a form has changed, and your form doesn't contain the most recent data. You could also find that Access consistently fails to redraw a form properly. If that's the case, you can use the requery and repaint methods to correct the problem. And during my introduction, you might have noticed that I said these techniques refer to forms. And that's the case. Normally the me object can refer to either forms or reports, but in this case, what I'm going to show you in this movie refers to forms only. The first method I referred to is the requery method, and for this movie we'll use the client's form. So I'll go over to the navigation pane, right-click it, and then click Design View. Then I'm going to right-click in the body of the form, click Build Event, click Code Builder, and then click OK. And when I do, Access creates an event code module. And I'll just drag the window up a bit by dragging the title bar so that we have more room to work. Now in this case, this event is when the detail section is clicked, and that's not the event that I want. What I want is an event that runs when the form activates. In other words, when it becomes the main object of focus inside the database window. So I'm going to go up to the object list, which is just below the title bar, click the object down arrow, and then click Form. The event that appears is Form Load, and that's not actually the one that I want, so I'll go over to the event list and click the procedure down arrow, and then all the way at the top of the list is Activate. And that is the event that I want. So we don't have to worry about detail click or form load. There is no code in either of those events. Instead, we're going to add our code here in the form activate event. And that code is very straightforward. It's just me.requery, R-E-Q-U-E-R-Y, and press tab. What the requery method does is go back and check the state of the table or query that is providing values for the form. If that's changed, then it updates the form so that it contains the new records, or reflects the edits and deletions. So now with that in place, I'll press Alt F11 to go back to the main database window, then right-click Client's Form tab, and then click Form View. And notice in the bottom left-hand corner on the record navigation bar that there are currently 12 records, and that's going to change in a moment. And it's going to change because I'm going to open the client's table by double-clicking it in the navigation pane. Now notice that as the form indicated, there are 12 records, and the client IDs go from 101 to 112. Click in the first open client ID field, and then type the value 113, press tab, and then in the client name field, type Orange Unlimited, O-R-A-N-G-E, space Unlimited, U-N-L-I-M-I-T-E-D, and press tab. So now we have a new record in the client's table. So because I added code that will run whenever the client's form is activated, that is, it gains the focus within the database window, it should update by requerying the client's table to reflect the new data. And when I click that tab, see a little bit of hesitation in the bottom left-hand corner, and then on the record navigation bar, we see that instead of being on record 1 of 12, we are now on record 1 of 13. And if I click the last record button, we see that we have client ID 113 and the client name of Orange Unlimited, which we entered earlier. The other method I'm going to show you, I can't actually demonstrate because I couldn't generate an error that would cause it to be useful. So I'm going to right-click the Client's Form tab in the Database Object window and click Design View. And then with the form in Design View, I'll press Alt F11 to move over to the code module. Now in the same Form Activate event, I'm going to press Enter and I'm going to type in the code me.repaint, M-E.repaint, and then press Tab. What the repaint method does is to redraw a form on screen in case it gets interrupted and hasn't been redrawn completely. This often happens when you have a long-running process, such as a query or you need to get data over a network. If you find that Access doesn't draw your form consistently, then you can use the repaint method to ensure that it does.